Welcome back to EuroFootball Daily for this week's edition of Euro Transfer Talk, where we round up the biggest news and rumours from across the continent over the last 7 days. We start with a player who has undoubtedly been one of the best defenders of the Premier League campaign so far. Antonio Rudiger has gone from an afterthought under Frank Lampard to now one of the first names on the team sheet under Thomas Tuchel. Perfect timing considering the German international sees his contract at Stamford Bridge expire at the end of this campaign. The Blues have reportedly made it a priority to tie down the 28-year-old for the foreseeable future, and rightly so. However, the power, as it is very much nowadays, is firmly in the player's hands. A few weeks ago over on Football Daily, we told you that Rudiger was being pursued by both Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, with the belief being he could command a weekly wage of £400,000 a week, making him one of the highest paid defenders in history. But these numbers haven't stopped other clubs from entering the race for the Berlin-born behemoth, as both Juventus and PSG are keen on refreshing their own centre-back situations. The Bianconeri are still reliant on both Bonucci and Chiellini, who have a combined age of 71, although of course Matthias de Ligt is a long-time heir to one of those Euro 2020 winners. PSG's defence may be more settled with Kimpembe and Marquinhos, but with Sergio Ramos still yet to make his debut for the club, and Thilo Kehrer having never really settled during his 3+ years in the French capital, there's no doubt Rudiger would be an upgrade. But according to transfer expert Gianluca Di Marzio, there's also 2 Premier League clubs eyeing up a move for the 48 times capped international. Manchester City are seemingly still looking for that perfect centre-back pairing, while Spurs are also interested in the soon-to-be out-of-contract defender. Of course, one of these sides seems far more likely than the other, but we want to hear from you guys at home. Where will Antonio Rudiger be playing football next season? Let us know in the comments below. Keeping it Chelsea for this next section, although we're looking at a potential signing this time around. Porto winger Luis Diaz is the next name tipped for a big money move out of Portugal, after a scintillating start to the 21-22 season, which has seen him net 6 goals in his first 9 matches. This was something of a surprise, as the Colombian started barely half of the available matches over his first 2 campaigns in Europe, netting just 6 times in each of those seasons, a total he has of course already matched this time around. Unsurprisingly then, the 24-year-old has a number of suitors from across the continent. Chelsea are said to have made contact with the South American's agent, having already been aware of the €80 million release clause in his current deal with Porto, which runs until 2024. The Blues have joined Real Madrid and Tottenham Hotspur in the race for his signature, although as it stands, there is a surprise frontrunner. Or maybe it's not a surprise. Newcastle United are considering Diaz as one of their options for a first marquee signing following the takeover, with money no longer an issue for the winless Magpies. If the new ownership group makes a play for the Colombian international, it's hard to see how they don't win the race, and we're sure it won't be the last time we say something like that. Just before we move over to our next transfer story, if you're not already subscribed to EuroFootball Daily, then what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. We're about to bring back Stat Wars and all that good stuff, and you do not want to miss it. Click it. In what has been an underwhelming start to the 2021-22 campaign for RB Leipzig, where they began with just 1 win in 5, although they have since recovered to 6th with 3 victories in their last 4 fixtures. Only 2 players have really stood out, and that's wingers Dominik Szoboszlai and Christopher Nkunku. And with Szoboszlai very much being the centre of attention, it means that Nkunku's performances have somewhat flown under the radar, with 9 goals and 5 assists already this year, including that memorable hat-trick in a 6-3 Champions League defeat against Manchester City. Signing for just €13 million from PSG in 2019, where he was only ever a bit part player in his 4 years with the first team, the 23-year-old has developed into a key player for the Bundesliga side, scoring 21 and setting up 32 more in 97 appearances for Die Roten Bullen. That's a goal involvement every 122 minutes. And now, according to Calcio Mercato, Arsenal are eyeing up the former France youth international, who is capable of playing anywhere across the front line. One potential stumbling block though is the fact that Nkunku's contract in East Germany doesn't expire until 2024, and Leipzig have previously shown an unwillingness to negotiate, instead selling their top players for their release clauses. Just see Dayot Upamecano and Timo Werner as examples. But in Nkunku's case, there is no release clause, meaning that it would be a rare opportunity for the club to sell a player for maximum value, with Bild suggesting it would take a bid in excess of €60 million for his current employers to even bat an eyelid at this stage. So with all this in mind, is Nkunku the answer to Mikel Arteta's problems? And how much would you pay for the exciting youngster? Let me know down below. from a young winger to one now that's probably over the hill, but would still be an interesting prospect for the Premier League sides interested in him. Ivan Perisic, somehow only 32 years old, is now into the final year of his deal with Inter Milan, the club he joined back in 2015. But despite 6 years of service and over 200 appearances for the Nerazzurri, his future is very unclear. The Croatian international, who featured for his country in every major tournament since 2012, has always been an important member of Inter's squad, and between 2016 and 2018 contributed 39 goals in Serie A. However, he spent 2019-20 at Bayern Munich on loan, where despite a Bundesliga winners medal, he failed to make much of an impact, and last campaign saw his league minutes fall to the lowest amount since his arrival in Italy. This season though, Perisic has 8 Serie A starts to his name, and has featured in all of Inter's Champions League fixtures so far, with 2 goals and an assist, proving to new coach Simone Inzaghi, who has led the title holders to 3rd so far, that he is still a useful footballer. As yet though, there is no indication that a new deal is forthcoming for the former Borussia Dortmund man, and that has left both Everton and West Ham on alert, with reports out of Spain saying that each club are considering a move for the experienced and versatile attacker in January to help bolster their European ambitions. Inter fans, I want to hear from you. Do you want to keep Perisic at the San Siro, or is his time at the club coming to an end? You know where to put your comments down below. A rare trip to America next, as one teenager has been attracting the interest of a number of Premier League clubs. Ricardo Pepi may only be 18 years old, but is amongst the top scorers in the MLS campaign, with his 13 goals for FC Dallas on par with Chicharito Hernandez and more than the likes of Gonzalo Higuain and Josef Martinez. Already used to making big decisions, the Texas-born youngster had to choose between Mexico, where his parents are from, and the USA when it came to playing at international level. To many people's surprise, he chose the Stars and Stripes over El Tri, immediately impressing with 3 goals in his first 2 games at senior level. And it appears another big decision is on the horizon, as FC Dallas, who currently rank 24th out of the 27 MLS sides, are preparing to cash in on their homegrown talent to the tune of around £10 million. A fee that would top what Bayern Munich paid for Alphonso Davies in 2018 and would comfortably be one of the biggest MLS sales of all time. So you may be asking who's interested. Well, Brentford and Brighton were said to be keen on the striker. However, they will more than likely be beaten to him by one of Liverpool and Manchester United, who are set to go head to head over the youngster in January. It's been a whirlwind 2021 for Pepe, who is now on course to feature for the USA at the 2022 World Cup, presuming they make it through qualification. We round off this episode with Real Madrid's Toni Kroos, who this season has seen his role in the squad diminish from regular starter to a backup, having made just 4 appearances across all competitions under Carlo Ancelotti, the man that first brought him to the Bernabeu back in 2014. The 31-year-old is now into the final 2 years of his deal and may start to look elsewhere, and according to El Nacional, he might have 2 decent options lined up. The Spanish newspaper reported last week that Liverpool were eyeing the now retired German international and were considering a £20 million bid to tempt Los Blancos into a sale. However, Cruz, who has made 324 appearances for the club since joining from Bayern Munich, is said to have already spoken to Pep Guardiola about a switch to Manchester City instead. The pair of course worked together briefly back in Bavaria. If the midfielder doesn't see his game time change over the next couple of months, it could bring around an abrupt end to his time in the Spanish capital. Wherever he ends up though, it looks like Cruz will still be challenging for titles. But Madrid fans, what do you make of this rumour? Let me know in the comments below. So that's all the time we have for today's Euro transfer talk. What do you guys think of the rumours that we've spoken about? Let me know down there below. And have we missed any others out? Again, let me know down there. If you want to see more Eurofootball Daily content, then click on screen right now. And as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.